Test, 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 test.
Sorry, can y'all hear me now? All right, who wants to certify us?
I'll take care of it. Whereas the Madison County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Excuse me. And whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such a closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, therefore be it resolved that the Madison County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
All right, we have a motion, need a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Patterson, will you call roll, please?
Mr. Marks?
I certify.
Mr. Sheets?
I certify.
Mr. Wingate?
I certify.
Mrs. Wood?
I certify.
Mrs. Collier?
I certify. Okey-doke. Our next agenda item is our pledge. We invite you all to stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we will have a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, our next agenda item is a few business items that we need to take care of. The first one is the personnel matters. I will open the floor for that motion to approve the personnel matters for August the 12th to include appointments, resignations, substitute appointments, sponsor stipends, and coaching stipends as presented.
Motion to approve personnel matters as presented.
We have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. The next, before I do that, I just want to commend Ms. Graham and Dr. Jones for having us fully staffed. Yay. We're happy. So thank you all for all your work that you do. The next item is to approve the release of, from compulsory attendance for students 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the release from compulsory attendance for students numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 as presented.
We have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion carries. Our next agenda item is the consent agenda, and that includes the claims that you see listed there and the minutes of the board meetings, past board meetings that you see listed there. So I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the August 14, 2024 consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Our next agenda item is employees of the month, and that's, my assumption is Ms. Graham is down there to represent our employees of the month, recognize our employees of the month. We're not scary. Not too bad.
All right. It's my honor to stand before you this evening. You guys really go behind me. to recognize the outstanding contributions of some amazing individuals we have working in our food services department, or food services team, I should say. They are our August Employees of the Month. First and foremost, I want to recognize Patty Seal, our Supervisor of Food Services. Her leadership and dedication have been instrumental in ensuring the success of the food service programs. Her commitment to excellence and tireless efforts have truly set the standard for the entire food services team and resulted in so many students receiving meals this summer. Next, I want to express gratitude to Ms. Karen Householder for her exceptional work in overseeing the summer meal program for the Boys and Girls Club, summer school students, and Parks and Rec campers. I want to recognize Amanda Hildaga for her dedication to overseeing the meals program for our Jumpstart students. And I would also like to acknowledge the incredible efforts of Tiffany Danuser and Amber Heflin in overseeing the food services distribution at the middle school. Had to read those, so I got everyone's role right. Together, these ladies, along with other food service employees, teachers, some volunteers, made an incredible impact over the summer. They organized and distributed over 113,000 meals.
That's
insane.
amazing.
It gives you chills to say that. And we'll know a final number. Patty's going to come back and do a presentation for you in September, and she'll give us the final number because it's higher than that. So please join me in congratulating these ladies and what they've done. It's truly amazing for the hard work. And let me just say, they didn't have to do this. Like, you don't have to do summer feeding. These are people that thought they were going to, well, not necessarily Patty was going to work this summer, but these ladies thought they were going to be off in the summer, and they did this because they really care. And I think that deserves tremendous recognition. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you all for all of your work. It is appreciated. I know not everybody has Facebook, but I put a shout out to Patty and her staff a few months ago on Facebook around this. We have to capture the moment. You're welcome to say anything if you want to. You can say something. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys.
Okey doke. Come on, computer. Our next agenda item is public comment. We welcome the public to come to the podium if they wish, to give us any good news, indifferent news, happy news, tell us what we're doing good or bad. We just ask that you state your name, what area of the county you are from, and you have 3 minutes.
I am Pastor Russell Biber from Brightwood, here tonight representing the public, and I believe, it is amazing that the time has gone so fast. School starts tomorrow, and we're praying that all goes well this year. And last year, from what I gather, was a good year, but we're trusting for a better one this year. And Mr. Wingate, you weren't here last month. I did ask the question, and if you could comment when your time is for that. But in the past, there was some curriculum that was being sought that was neutral in political leanings. And I'm just curious as to where that stands, how that search is going. And I've been praying that the Lord would lead you to just the right one, and I'm just curious as to whether that's taken place or not. But I would like to have a word of prayer for this coming school year, if I may. Let's pray. Father, thank you so much again for what you do for us. Father, we thank you so much for your protection, your watch care over our county schools. I pray tonight, Father, that you would give each administrator, each teacher, Lord, the ability to connect with the students, that the students would become engaged in learning, desirous to grow, to be what you desire each of us to be, just as good citizens, appropriate. Father, we pray that you would help it to be a great year. Father, I pray for those students who know you as their personal Savior, that their light would shine. The light of Jesus Christ reflect off of them. And Father, I pray that it would be a school year that honors you. Thank you, Father, for our school board, our leadership. Father, help them to be the leaders you desire them to be. In Jesus' name, amen. And thank you.
Would anybody else like to address the board? All righty, we will move on to Dr. Jones is going to share some information about our summer projects and learning.
Yeah. All right, so summer school was held during June, and also our amazing staff did a variety of other summer activities that I'm going to share with you all this evening. So at Madison Primary School, 33 students attended our summer session, and you can see the breakdown, kindergarten, first, second grade, how many of each. Jump Start was held in late July. 52 rising kindergarten students attended for that week. And this is a chance for those students to become familiar with the school and school personnel before they're here for the start of the school year, and it gives them a jump start on their kindergarten experience. And also, we hope it helps parents as well as they kind of get used to leaving their babies and just all of those fun first day of school things. At Waverly, we had summer school for 37 students. The focus was certainly in all areas, but at Waverly in particular, heavy on literacy and math and keeping students engaged and preventing, hopefully, that summer slide in learning. And you can see the breakdown of third, fourth, and fifth grade numbers who attended at Waverly this summer. We, once again, held Reach It Through Reading, more fondly known as Ritter. And you can see a picture of some of our dedicated staff that delivered books to 162 Madison families. So the Ritter program continues to provide a friendly school visit and provide reading materials over the summer. So that's a great thing that happens each summer. At the middle school, there were a total of 31 students who also, worked in the literacy and math activities that were engaging and were keeping students in the routine of coming to school and learning throughout the summer. Sixth grade had 9 students, seventh, 11, and eighth, 11 students. This summer, we held a sixth grade transition camp, or several days of camps. 35 rising sixth graders attended these mini camp days. They were surveyed before and at the end, and 100% of the students who arrived reported they felt more comfortable with transitioning to middle school as a result. Camps were 1 day in length and were held over several days to keep the groups small so students could receive individualized support. They learned their way around the building, discussed study skill strategies, and of course, the big thing, practicing the lockers, which makes everybody feel more comfortable when they arrive. So just a big kid version of Jump Start. And then at the high school, you'll see a breakdown of quite a few courses that were offered virtually. And so 63 students completed coursework this summer virtually at the high school. And so in total, we had 174 students attend our summer school, K through 12. And then one thing we added this summer, Mrs. Caitlin Racer, who's the coordinator of our ESL program, and her assistant, Ms. Elena Diaz, they wanted to do something similar to Ritter, but for their students, their ESL students. And so they took books, workbooks, snacks, and learning activities, along with back-to-school information in native languages, to our ESL students. They visited 24 students, 13 families, which was great. That was the first time for that event, so we were excited. And it's just great. These activities happen because our staff care and they want to do this. They approach us and they want to do these things for our students. So we are very blessed in Madison County to have caring, dedicated individuals working with us and with our students. And that is our summer report.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're-
love
you're welcome.
the big kid, I love the kindergarten jump start too, but I love the transition for the big kids.
Yes,
So,
fantastic.
And the ESL Community Day, that's awesome, thank you. You guys have anything?
And we're planning to continue the sixth grade mini camp, because I know my son is a rising fifth grader. And he has already been stressed out about the idea of lockers
Yeah,
and going from place to place, so that's phenomenal. He will be in attendance for that.
yep, absolutely.
That's cool.
Thank you for that report. Our next information is the business information about the cell phone policy update. And Ms. Graham?
So we talked about this really quickly in the last school board meeting because Executive Order 33 had just come out the week before our board meeting. So I just made a more formal presentation with some information here for you. If you go to the first slide. To kind of review our current expectations. So nothing has changed for this year yet involving our cell phones. Madison Primary and Waverly, it's a no cell phone policy, or there's times when parents do need, even students that young, to have a phone on them, but it's just often in their backpack and put away for the day. At Wetzel Middle School, the same. It's off and in their locker, and that, again, was the same thing as last year. And then at the high school, they can use it before and after school, as well as during lunches. It's not permitted to be in use or in sight during all blocks of instruction, and that includes homeroom. They place their cell phones in a phone caddy, and this year, it's the same phone caddies they had hanging in classrooms last year, except this year they have a black piece of fabric that comes down over the phones too. So just a little bit of extra security for the students to know that someone can't go by and just like swipe their phone. There's a covering that goes down over it, so just to keep them a little safe for them. And cell phones are not allowed to be used in restrooms. I'm sorry, we have to tell people that. All right, for Executive Order 33, again, this came out on July 9th, and this is from our governor, just kind of making people more aware of just how distracting phones can be in the learning environment and how addicted students are to those cell phones, and just, telling schools we need to do our part in helping kids kick that addiction. So the executive order directed the Department of Ed to initiate an engagement effort. So they've been going around the state right now getting feedback from the communities on how we should handle this executive order. And if you go to the next slide, they're going to publish their draft guidance by this week, August 15th. And then after considering feedback, they're going to issue their final guidance at some point in September. And then local school boards should have their procedures in place by January 1st. So if you go to the next slide, we are going to put together a work group. And so our work group, we're going to schedule a meeting for the work group as soon as we have that guidance in September. I'm anticipating we're not going to need to have too many meetings, so I don't really want to meet until we have, the guidance from the state, even though I think we would be fine without it. I don't mean that bad, but I think we're okay with how we're covering things. So we're going to provide recommendations to you all no later than the November 11th school board meeting, and then that will give you time to vote at the December board meeting on what you want the final cell phone policy to be, if there are any changes. we're actually in compliance right now, so there might not be changes, who knows? Or there might just be some things that our work group suggests we kind of specify or, elaborate more on. So the work group is going to consist of some administrators, a board member, parents, teachers, high school students. I've done an outline. We already have Dr. Jones and then Principal Wilson from the middle school have agreed to co-chair this committee. And then I have reached out, if you all are in agreement, Ms. Wood would represent the school board. And then we're going to have a high school admin rep, which will be Principal Taylor. And then we'll have 2 high school teachers, and then Ms. Wilson will represent the middle school admin, and then a middle school teacher, and then just 1 primary elementary teacher rep together, and then 2 high school parents, a middle school parent, and then I thought 2 high school students. So they can, listen to the group and offer their suggestions and kind of give some insight to the work group from the student perspective. So I'll let you know exactly who's on that committee next month. We kind of needed to get everyone back to school before we started assigning people to committees. They probably wouldn't like one of those told you so things. But that's where we are with this. If there's anyone else you'd like for us to put on the work group, we can, but I just thought, some teachers, some parents who are the most important, and to get a couple high school students on there.
I think that's great, and I think it's, thorough. One idea, maybe sometime to bring in as a guest or something, maybe the SRO or somebody from the police department, because one of the things the parents have said, as I've talked to them, is that they're concerned about the impact of not having them if there's an emergency or something. So having somebody that understands that side of things might be helpful to answer that thing. And maybe think about, doing a survey at some point within that working group might be helpful too. I mean, we get a wide response, but it might be helpful to get some ideas and do a
And
survey.
that's something the work group could do, could make the survey. Okay. Any other feedback?
Thank you for wanting to do it, Ms. Wood, doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all.
That's all.
Our next agenda item is school board meeting dates.
We put this back on here, so you all could solidify the dates that you are able to visit the schools, even if it's just first semester right now. We have currently October 24th and then April 10th. And you've already approved the calendar and everything last meeting. This is just for the dates of the school visits. And you voted on these dates. If you'd like to leave them the same, that is also okay. I'm giving you lots of avenues.
I think doing that one day is really much better. Sometimes for me, I think multiple people, it's just nice to go to see all the schools in one day. It's a lot easier for our work schedule.
And we'll be able to have lunch at one of the schools
Yeah,
with the
that's
students
fine.
too,
Great.
so it'll be
That's
neat.
awesome.
It'll be some good things.
Thanks for doing that.
No problem. And the schools are excited about it too, having you guys all in one day.
Just looking at the April one.
You got long-term calendar.
Yeah, April, I'm not sure yet.
If you can
I
solidify
might not be able to make
October.
the April one, but the October one is fine.
And we can revisit the April meeting around January. I'll make a little note we can put it back on, and you guys can look at your calendars then. So for now, let's leave it as is then. Is that okay? Leave it as October 24th? And then you guys don't need to vote or anything? Okay. I'll make a note about the April meeting.
Okey-doke.
Thank you, guys.
So no, we don't need a vote for this.
No, you voted last time.
Perfect. So our next agenda item is BFC, policy adoption. We chatted about this before for about 2 months, I think, right?
Policy.
Or
Here we
was
go.
it just last month? Just last month. So we wanted to pull it out and get some more information. My mic's not on. Keep forgetting that. I think, Mr. Sheed, you're the one that made the motion to pull it out. And I think we want to not change it, correct?
Yeah, it would be my suggestion that we leave the policy as it is currently, without the recommended change from the VSBA.
Yeah, I like that too. Like
Yeah.
Just leaving it as is.
Doesn't make sense to change it.
And I went back in our training notes where Liz and I had done the training on the new policies, and that, the sentence was removed just because it wasn't required by law. So that's why they.
Right.
The only,
the only
okay.
reason, yeah.
So if we don't change it and don't adopt the new policy that VSBA says or recommends to, then we don't have to do anything, correct?
It's a red line. right now.
Putting it out there, they're saying they're recommending that it change, so you can just have
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so I'll make a motion to keep policy KJ as it was previously.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just want to make sure that we're voting to keep it, right? Not voting to change it. Like-
We're voting.
I just
Let me-
want to
let
make
me
sure I vote the
rephrase.
right way.
Let me
like-
rephrase. I make a motion to keep the line, commercial establishments whose source of revenue is the sale of intoxicants may not advertise in school publications in the policy KJ.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no? Okay.
I would say go with the second one because I issued the chair, I can't really say
Yeah.
that. Multiple.
Multiple seconds.
So it was cleared up.
Thank you, Mrs. Wood, because I understand that
Well, I just want.
potentially, as before, it's kind of, yeah.
Correct.
It's word salad.
Okey doke. The next agenda item is reports by board members or comments.
We had a good meeting. Oh, you mind if I start first?
Go ahead.
Okay, we had a good
That's why I
meeting.
looked at you.
CIP stuff. The Waverly Yale chiller job that's done. It's working correctly. And just in case anyone's interested, it does have a warranty. And Stacy, Dr. Timmons emailed, let's see here. Has a warranty of 1 year for standard parts, a year for standard labor, 4 years extended parts and labor, and a 5-year refrigerant warranty. So that'll keep us going for a little while. The Waverly Yale, we talked before about some water valves that need to be replaced at the Waverly Yale. Okay, that's still an issue. The quote came back for freezing this pipe so they didn't have to drain the whole system for $37,000, which Dr. Timmons felt that was a little high. Without bleeding without freezing the pipe and just hand bleeding everything, the price was $22,000. I'm thinking about getting into water pipe valve replacement. Anyway, so he's working with some other stuff, waiting on bids to come back. But anyway, it's still something that's going to need to happen because they have to be able to adjust those valves. We did a study about the, what were the units, Mrs. Graham? We were going to go with like 4 big units, but we found out we can go with smaller units. The makeup air system or something?
Backup air system.
Anyhow, that study came back, and it looks like it is going to save us some money because we don't, after the study, we don't need the big units that they were saying we needed to begin with. So save some money there. High school boilers are in. There's 2 large boilers, 1 small one. They still need to do some testing and whatnot, but that is in. They should be done in a couple weeks. And something else that came up during the meeting that was totally off the radar, the press box roof at the football field is in bad shape. Like bad enough shape that one area of it's probably not safe to walk on. And that's like $50,000 for repair there. One bid was $50,000, another one was $34,000. So that's something that needs to take place here in the near future. And something else that just be a good thing for everybody to know here and to just talk about. Every time we move from football to baseball season, obviously the goalposts for football and the bleachers have to be moved. And the bleachers that are being moved are not designed to be moved, and they're deteriorating to the point where sooner than later, they're going to need to be replaced. So the conversation is starting about some type of a field change or relocation, baseball to Hoover. We don't know yet. Options all up in the air. So something to be thinking about there. Mrs. Wood, he did talk about the tree that's growing underneath the track, and of course, then the conversation went to, we need a new track. We've got, that's coming up for renewal sometime soon. And do we want to put a track there? Do we want to put it somewhere else? Or it's lots of fun stuff to do. But anyhow, things to just think about. That's all I have.
And I'm sorry, it's not backup air units, it's makeup air units.
Yeah, makeup air
Makeup air
units,
units.
yes.
Charlie, you were right.
Did I say makeup air units?
The first time, I think. And we changed it to backup air units. Go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to second what Ms. Collier said about thinking Dr. Jones and Ms. Graham about filling spots. I think we're in a really good spot, sounds like. I think that's big. I mean, Oak was decent last year, but really, really good this year in terms of filling, good spots. And I don't know how much public here, but for the media, though, I mean, that includes, one of the concerns we had was a high teacher-student-teacher ratio in kindergarten. We found a solution, so it'll be less than 18 students per, so that's a 6 kindergarten teacher. That's a real win, I think, for the primary school. And then we do have our 4th SRO will be in place this year. That's a real win, too. So thanks for the Board of Supervisors for that support in we'll have 4 SROs. There'll be 1 SRO for each school, which is also a real win. We've been trying to do that for a while, and so that's fantastic news, I think, and really, really good. So thank you for all the effort on that. We had and Pastor, I'm going to get to your good question, but first we had a Character, Education, and Citizenship Committee meeting today, where Ms. Graham and I had the principals come in and talk about our new character education policy that we put in place last year. Really good. I think they're moving forward with real interest in it and good-heartedness in it. And they have, the committee had identified several different possible, we thought, neutral kind of curriculums, good curriculums, and part of the committee for this character education thing. And so one of the options was this thing called Positivity Project. All 4 schools analyzed the options and came to the conclusion that was the best solution for their school, kind of individually. So it's kind of interesting, kind of neat that they all chose that. I think it seems to me to be a very good neutral curriculum that's really focused on kind of core values that we adopt, that we talk about in the character education policy, and respect and integrity and kindness, self-control and citizenship, love of our country. And so I think I'm excited about that. They have in late August, there's going to be a person who comes down and kind of gives some teaching about how to deliver the curriculum. So I think it's very promising and hope it's really good. So I'm excited about that. It was a good committee meeting today. And Pastor, to your comment, so I think we choose curriculums for each subject. So it's not like one curriculum, so it's kind of an ongoing effort. So I think in the terms of education, I think it's a good curriculum in terms of really focused on the things we want to focus on. I had concerns about the ones that it's replacing, the social emotional learning things. So I'm happy. I think the majority of the board kind of feels the same way about that. Other curriculum, I think we have, it's an ongoing effort. I think there is goodness in the policy we adopted where we're going to be very kind of systematic about choosing curriculums and make sure parents are involved and community leaders are involved and the boards and everybody's involved. And so I think the next one will be social studies, which we probably need to start pretty soon because I think it's adopted next summer. Is that right? Next summer? I guess we're waiting for the state's there's a churn with the state because they change the standards with the social studies. That's a big one because it involves citizenship and things like that. So we'll be doing that once the state comes out with that. So to answer your question, it's an ongoing effort. I think, in my opinion, I think the majority of the board's opinion made progress on it, but it's an ongoing effort to make sure that political biases don't seep in and that we just teach basic values and things like that. So it's a continuing effort, but I think we're making progress for sure. I'm excited about the Positivity Project. I think it should be good. So good meeting today. And I think next month, they're all going to come in and give the board a presentation on their character education efforts and things.
Nice.
And last I'd say is, congrats to Dr. Timmons and his team. If you haven't been down to the field house, I mean, we talked about it last year, much improved. I mean, I think it looks really good. The lights are bright and shine, bright and nice, and it's clean, and it's cleaner, and new lockers on the JV side, and so a lot of good effort that went into that. So I think him and his team and your efforts and everybody's efforts, it's an ongoing effort, because when you have 17-year-old boys doing stuff, it's hard to keep it clean. And it doesn't really smell that great down there, but it's much better. So I'm excited about that. Thank you.
I attended the, what's it called? CIP, sorry. I attended the CIP meeting virtually as well. It was my first one, and I certainly am glad Charlie's there, because I know very little about capital improvement projects. So people could sell me a Cadillac, and I need a, Ford Escort or something. So I'm glad that there's smarter people in the room than me. But the reason I wanted to do that was to learn, so I'm learning. So I appreciate you being there and understanding stuff.
I mean, I enjoy the meetings, but Dr. Timmons is on top of it. I mean,
He is the man, yes.
he's got it going really well. I really appreciate all his efforts.
I agree. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to, and excited for tomorrow. It's the greatest day of the year. Go ahead.
Other than attending back-to-school night, which I will say that Waverly Owl had a tremendously positive energy and vibe from top to bottom. Everywhere I was at, the rooms are bright, teachers are out, everybody's smiling. And then, as Ms. Graham knows, I try to go through and hit every school just to say hi. And the parking lots were so packed and so full of parents and so full of kids on a night that was calling for tornadoes and everything else. It was phenomenal to see the county support coming in to meet teachers and be part of the community with the schools. And that being said, also, with all the new teachers and the new hires that came in, getting a chance to see some of those faces, it's amazing to see some of the brand-new teachers that are fresh right out of college and chomping at the bit, but also the professionals that left other career paths to join our team here in Madison and become teachers, and decided to change completely their lives and their careers, change education, and try to reach to our community. And a lot of them are actually locals and giving back. And man, that is tremendous and speaks volumes of what's kind of going on under the surface outside of some of the other numerics that go through. But the people that are being involved are amazing, and it's tremendous support for our superintendent and our staff at Central Office. Thank you.
I don't have much else to say, but anybody that's out there, I just want to say, everybody from the team here, all the way down to our teachers and all the way down to our students, I just hope that everybody has a happy, wonderful, safe first day of school. Thank you guys for all that you do to support our little people. And I know I have two at home that are very excited for tomorrow morning. I'm sure they will leave my house at 7:20, and we live 5 minutes away, and sit in the parking lot for half an hour. So I hope that everybody kind of comes with that excitement and that it goes off smoothly, wonderfully. So good luck to everybody.
I want to say, first of all, we'll have an August Senior of the Month. Next month, we're going to let school get into session before they pick our August. So next month, we'll honor an August and a September Senior of the Month. And then hopefully we'll also have your student rep by next month. You have been invited to attend the Future Educators Academy ribbon cutting ceremony. That's going to be on Monday, August 19th at 10 a.m. You do need to RSVP if you'd like to go. I think it's by this Friday. You can send it to me if you'd like to attend. That is our part in the Governor's Lab School. The Future Educators Academy was was the first one approved by the governor. So the governor and the Secretary of Education have been invited to attend. I would think at least one of them would come. So it's at the Daniel Technology Center in Culpeper. So just let me know if you'd like to come. It'll be at 10 a.m. on Monday the 19th. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so if you can come, just let me know, because it would be great. We do have two students committed to the program right now, so that's awesome. because these are the kids that are going to be able to do two-year program. They're juniors, so they'll leave with their associate's degrees, and then they'll go off to a to a 4-year college for 2 years, and then come back and teach for us. So it's a very big deal. 2. Yeah. They will be there, yes. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just let me know if you can come for sure, and I'll turn in your name. Mhm. Perfect. Okay, thank you.